Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space in my backyard. So I decided I'm gonna start a series on what am I doing right now to prepare for spring. Today, I'm gonna clean up my laundry room. My laundry room is where I start all of my seeds, where I cure things, all of that happens in my laundry room. And then over here is where I store things. So today I'm gonna get my seed starting station cleaned up. Right now, there are a million plastic bottles, which I use for winter sowing. And I will be starting some seeds for winter sowing. I have a whole bunch of these, all kinds that I keep throughout the year for winter sowing. Thing is, I'm not gonna ever winter sow this many vegetables. So I'm going to probably keep the milk jugs because I find them to be the easiest when you are cutting and when you are taping it back up. The rest of these I'm going to put in the recycling. So I think sometimes we save everything because we just feel like, that's what we should be doing. I also have a whole bunch of glass jars that I have saved. I since was able to get some ball canning jars, and so I really don't need these other jars. I'm also going to recycle those glass jars. So I live in a small space. I cannot keep all of this stuff and still have space for other things throughout the year. I am choosing today to clear this stuff out of the laundry room so I can get ready for spring. All the stuff that I took off the shelves, I'm going to put out in the greenhouse because that's where I'm planning to start my seeds. I'm gonna start some of them in the house. I'm gonna start some out there. I just want to see what the difference is gonna be. As it was, it's not the same as it was. We've cleaned out the laundry room, and if it were time to start seeds, we could go ahead and start seeds. I have a few varieties of fall vegetables that I do want to start. Like, they don't take a long time to mature, because the way that I am deciding to do this is I am going to plant at the end of February. So probably the last week in February. And so that gives me about 60 days until I am ready to plant for summer, or spring, but for it to grow all the way through summer. So I plan to plant my summer things on May 1st, even though our last frost date is sometime in April. I did grab some vegetables that have about 55 to 65 days to maturity. Even if I plan to plant May the 1st, those plants aren't going to be super large where these plants won't be able to finish maturing. So really quick, what I'm going to plant: more broccoli rabe, some green Goliath broccoli, some green magic broccoli, my leeks, both of those, some hybrid white cauliflower. The other thing that I am going to do today is I never got my lavender into the refrigerator, and so I'm going to winter sow the lavender. It does need a stratification period, meaning it needs a cold, damp time frame. I'm going to do my chamomile and these hyssop artichokes, hollyhocks, delphinium, another hollyhock. The other thing I'm going to give a shot, which I've never grown before, never even had the fruit before, but I do know that chickens love this vine, passion fruit, and I got these seeds in a seed swap. But what it says is that it can take up to 90 days to get germination out of here. It needs to be 75 degrees and it can take up to 90 days. So I'm going to start these in the house today. I think the rest of this needs to go out in January, but doesn't need to be a part of this. So let me show you really quick. I showed you my planner a little while ago in another video. So this is my planner. What I did here is, like I said, I went from our last frost date, and then I put which date was the week away from my last frost date. If I have a sticker on a date, that means something needs to be happening in the garden. I don't want to take up this whole page with garden things because this is also my life planner. But behind this page, there are other pages where you can write things out for the whole day. If there's a sticker on it, it's a flower sticker, I put what I needed to be doing. This is January the 5th. I am behind because today is January the 8th. I should have been preparing the seeds for stratification, passion fruit scarification, and winter sowing my hollyhocks, delphinium, chamomile, and artichoke. So I'm 3 days behind on what I said I should have been doing on January the 5th, where I was saying there were other things. 12 weeks from my last frost would be January the 12th. If I were going to start my pepper seeds, eggplants, and artichokes 12 weeks away, that's where it would be. I am still on the fence about the pepper seeds. I'll definitely be starting my eggplant seeds on the 12th, and I may try some artichokes inside. The peas, it'll be time for me to soak them on the 14th because they say you should soak peas. It helps to germinate better. And then on the 15th, I will plant them out in the garden. And then when it is time, they should germinate. On the 18th, I should be starting the cold hardy spring seeds. So the seeds that I just told you that I was going to start, I will be starting them on the 18th. The King Richard leeks, I'm going to be starting those on the 26th. That's it for January. One of the things that you may want to look into is checking your local feed and seed or your local extension to see if they have a list of plantings. This is my local feed and seed storage chart. And so they give you this chart. And so if you are going to plant out, you have a lot of information just from this one piece of paper. I do use this quite a bit because this is a planting chart for my area. And so the people in my area know when it's best to plant out in my area, although you still have the back of the seed packet, which those dates should be very close. The month should be the same, you know what I mean? The dates should be very close, but I feel very happy to have one that is specifically for my area. The other thing that I have done is, since I'm planning for spring now, I went through all of my seeds. I decided which varieties I was going to plant already. And then I went through and figured out what I needed. And so my one seed order that I did this year was from M.I. Gardner. I'm not saying that I'm done ordering seeds. I am done ordering seeds for the normal things that grow in the garden. I have a few herb plants that I'm looking for that are not very common, and so I still need to find those. So I'm not done ordering, but I am done ordering the normal things. So we will quickly go through what I ordered from M.I. Gardner. Have bush beans. This is a top-notch golden wax, oriental yard long. All of these beans, except for I think 2, are bush varieties. I have enough pole beans, different from bush. Bush is going to grow short and give you a bunch of beans, and the pole beans are going to go long, and you're going to need to trellis them, and they're going to give you a bunch of beans too. Royal Burgundy, mixed Ancho Grande pepper, sweet banana pepper, habanada, early jalapeno, cayenne long and slim, Sheboygan tomatoes. I wanted more paste tomatoes this year. San Marzano. Those are the only tomatoes that I ordered this year. I have way too many tomatoes to still be ordering tomato varieties, so I just didn't. Not telling anybody else not to. Tigger melon. My daughter loved those. I don't eat melons. Sounds disgusting. Slow bulk lettuce. Marvel of Four Seasons lettuce. Red romaine. Bib butterhead, Paris Island cos romaine. Ooh, marshmallow, that is a herb. I think it's mostly good for the root, if I understand correctly. But it says the roots and the leaves are edible. But anywho, I'm working on my apothecary and I wanted those. St. John's wort, same thing. Working on it for my apothecary. Good for anxiety. And that's what I'm looking for. Need that. Milk thistle. A friend of mine used this, something from a store, and she was so impressed by it. So I got some so I could grow it for her. It grows as a very big plant, so I have to figure out where it's gonna go. Parsnips, and oh my goodness, shallots. I love shallots, cannot wait to plant those. So I should start them indoors 8 to 10 weeks before my last frost, and transplant after my last frost. So they're gonna be on my list because I love shallots. So just to show you really quick, all of this stuff needs something done to it in January. Either needs to be sown or it needs to be stratified, scarified, soaked in January. And so what I did is I went through my seed pack. Anything that had anything to do with this month, I put it in here. I put it in my planner. My planner will tell me what needs to be coming out of this bag and on what date. That helps to keep me organized. This is what I did last year. And I had so much success doing it this way. I did not get super overwhelmed. Once the plant started getting big and needing to go out into the garden, yes, that felt very overwhelming. But getting the seeds started and knowing when I needed to, that was not very overwhelming for me. And so this is what I am planning to use. This is how I plan to plan my garden. So the last thing that I have done so far, I have a composition notebook. What I did here, and I am not done, is I am working on drawing out the garden. And then this way, when spring comes, I know where everything is supposed to be. Also remembering where things were planted last year, because while I don't subscribe to rotating crops because I do not have enough space to rotate crops, I did realize that some things that were grown in the same space did not do very well this year. For instance, I grew my beans on the same trellis for the last 3 years, 2 years. For the last 2 years, how many ever years I've been planting, and they did awful this year on the trellis. So I will not be growing beans there this year. I have never successfully grown watermelons, and I have always planted them in the same spot. So what my point is here is where I'll be able to plan out where things need to go, remembering where they were the year before or in past years. Next thing that I have done is decided on which varieties I was going to plant. So these are all my tomatoes. I have written which ones are slicers, which ones are cherry, or which ones are grape. I have written here how many of each one I am planning to grow. Also down here, wrote out how many grow bags I have. On this side, here are the peppers that I am planning to grow. And at the bottom are the potatoes. The reason why these are the only 3 vegetables that I have decided how many I need to grow is because these all grow in bags. So I grow all of my peppers in bags. This year I am choosing to grow all of my tomatoes in bags, and I am choosing to grow all of my potatoes in bags. The way that I would do it is I'm gonna grow more than I need. So let's say I need 3. I'm probably going to plant for 5. That way, if there's a germination issue or if something dies, it is possible that I will have extra for myself. And then if I don't need them, then of course I can give them away. My mother also gardens. She never tells me what she wants before I start seeds. And so I just start seeds, and whatever is left, I tell her this is what I have left. That's how I decide on what I'm gonna grow, how many of those things I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna show you how I winter sow, which it's not how I winter sow. It's simply planting the seeds. I'm gonna show you how you do it. Be sure to start with moist soil. Add drainage to the bottom of your container. Cut around the container, leaving a hinge at the handle. Fill the bottom of your container with soil. Sow your seeds based on the information and instructions on the packet. Press gently to ensure seeds have contact with the moist soil. Tape the container closed with duct tape. Label your container using a permanent marker or a garden marker. Go ahead and repeat for some easy growing. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If it was helpful, don't forget to press like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment box below. And don't forget to visit me over on Instagram at Miss MS Asia Spratley, where I post about the things going on in the garden almost every day. All right, bye y'all.